Boom! What's up, Overcome Army? It is Monday. It is that first day of the week, and it is an amazing Monday. For me, so many of you guys know that I've been struggling with my health, and it has been a battle, guys. It has been a battle, and last week finally I got confirmation on my diagnosis. And one of the big concerns was I was really afraid of cancer, and thankfully cancer was ruled out, and what I have is treatable. And I'll explain all that. Some of this I have said in bits and pieces. I want to do a whole nother video talking about um, the impacts of dealing with the unknown and what I went through, and a little bit of transparency. I'm going to do that later. Today, what I want to focus on is this. It is the battlefield of the mind, because it is the most dangerous. It is the most insidious. The ambushes that hit us up here, the mind is so powerful, and the mind is what affects our emotions. It affects our physical being. That's why when people have anxiety attacks and panic attacks, they really feel like heart attacks. And doctors, when you come to the hospital, they treat it like a heart attack, but then they can rule that out. And what's happened, your mind is telling you that these things are wrong. And it is scary. And guys, I want to give a shout out to all of you out there that have experienced some level of mental health anxiety. It's terrifying, man. I mean, I went through it, and the what I was diagnosed with, one of the byproducts is anxiety and extreme anxiety. And so I felt it, and I can appreciate what those of you that are out there that are dealing with that. Like, I never felt anything like that. Not after my battlefield injuries, none of that. This was unique, and dealing with that over the last 5 months. So, what I want to talk about today is the battlefield of the mind, and really self-fulfilling prophecy. For the past 5 months, I had convinced myself that I was sick, and I was. But I had convinced myself that I was sick and that I would never get better. Like, I just felt that way. I've never felt that bad. That the just all the symptoms that I had were terrible, and dealing with that and having that in my mind. And now, fast forward to last week, getting the diagnosis. They actually had started me on the treatment a couple of weeks prior, so I had been starting to feel better, and that was progress. But yesterday was the first day that I flew, the first day that I've come out. Or the first day that I've come out to a live speaking event. As you can tell, this isn't my normal background. This is at the hotel in California, and I'm going to be speaking for a group tomorrow. And I'm excited for that, although a little nervous, just managing energy and all that kind of stuff. But I realized when I was flying, I expected to feel bad. I expected to not have a lot of energy. I expected to have some issues. And the reason being is because my mind had convinced itself over these last 5 months that, hey, man, you're sick. Hey, man, you're on the X. And there's some truth to that. And this is where, in the first level of the React methodology, we have to recognize we're in a crisis. And I was in a crisis. But when you start to get off the X, this is where you have to change your mindset. This is where self-fulfilling prophecy is such a big thing. And this is where the mind is so powerful, both negatively or positively. If you convince yourself that you're sick, even when you start to get well, there is a tendency to continue to believe that. And that's where I was at. I realized yesterday that I had to change my mindset. Hey, man, you know that you are sick, but it's curable, and you're going to get better, and you're going to feel better. So it's time to start pushing the envelope. It's time to get outside your comfort zone. It's not time to continue to sit back and think to yourself, well, I'm just going to continue to feel bad. And so many people do that. They do that on all these different levels. It's not just with sickness, guys. It's with your belief in yourself. If you tell yourself you're a terrible salesman, if you tell people you're a terrible person, you're a terrible communicator, you're a terrible parent, if you say I'm never going to be in shape, whatever you're telling yourself, if you keep feeding those lies in your head, your mind will believe it, and your mind will start to instinctively um, and even inadvertently continue to buy that. So when you finally want to make changes, the changes become so much harder because you have fed lies to your mind for months and months and months. And suddenly now, maybe you're like, oh, I want to make a change. But your mind is holding you down. It's chaining you to the X. And this is such a powerful thing, guys. This is why the battlefield of the mind is the most dangerous and it is the most difficult. And self fulfilling prophecy is a real thing. You've got to change. I know that I am going to get better and I am getting better. So now that's what I got to tell myself. I got to, hey, Jay, even though you may be feeling a little bad right now, even though you may be tired and fatigued, um, you are getting better, man. You've got to be positive. You got to lean forward. And that's been such a huge thing also to know. Now I know what's causing the different things that were going on in my body. And it's no different for you. In your business, in your life, in your family, if you constantly tell yourself these negative things, you are losing the battle of the mind. And it is going to continue to hold you to that X. And it is going to be so much harder to get off the X and drive forward and be successful. So you've got to choose that positivity over negativity. You've got to start to believe that you can make that change, that you can be a better husband, wife, mother, father, friend, son, daughter, businessman, businesswoman, leader, manager, healthier, in shape, whatever it is, lose that weight. If you tell your if you're overweight and you tell yourself, man, I'm always going to be overweight, you probably are because you're fighting against your mind. The most powerful thing you have in your body is your mind. It affects everything. It affects your belief system and it even affects physically your ability to execute. So guys, that is the message on this Monday muster. You've got to choose positivity over negativity. You've got to understand that if you continue to focus on the negative thought patterns, uh, for too long, soon your mind will accept that that is the truth. And then it becomes so much harder to reverse. I'm having to do that right now. I'm having to reverse this thought that I'm sick. I'm not sick. I'm getting better. That's the reality. I'm getting better. And every day I'm going to be a little bit better. And some days it may be a setback, but that was no different when I went through my injuries. Sometimes it was one step forward and two steps back. And it may be like that. But I know I'm getting better. And it's no different when everything else you go through in your life, guys. You have got to choose that positivity over negativity. All right. That is Monday Muster this day. So, whatever you have going on in your life, if it is your business, if it is your health, if it is your goal to lose weight, if it is your goal to gain weight, if it is your goal to crush some fitness competition, if you are telling yourself in all these things, I'm never going to do this, I'm never going to be successful, I'm never going to be a great leader, I'm never going to crush this competition, I'm never going to lose this weight, you're right because you are defeating yourself before you ever step onto the field of battle. You've got to choose that positive mindset. You've got to say, I can do this, I will do this, and start believing in yourself. And that's where you start winning on the battlefield of the mind, guys. Don't buy into that self-fulfilling prophecy. So, all right, guys, that's Monday Muster. Get out there, crush it. Once again, this is always live with my Overcome Army. And then, of course, I cut out this piece and I give it to everyone out there because I want to motivate and inspire. If you want to learn more about the Overcome Army, go to overcomearmy.com. All right, guys. Much love to you, to my Overcome Army. Thank you for being there for me while I've been going through this. This has been really hard on me mentally. And I just appreciate all of you. And for those of you out there outside of my Overcome Army that have reached out and checked on me, I really appreciate you guys. So much love to you. Crush this week. More importantly, attack the battlefield of the mind. You will be winning. Don't defeat yourself before you ever step onto the battlefield. All right, I'm out.